Hi everybody, this is Carrie with the Very Merry Unboxing doing, I don't know what segment Mark is going to call this.
It's Cooking with the Smiths.
Cooking with the Smiths. So Mark wanted me to show you guys how I make my lamb burgers tonight. So right now I'm just going to show you the ingredients and then I'm going to do some of the prep work so that you don't just sit and watch that. So we just have some fresh ground lamb, a nice tomato, ciabatta bread, a purple onion, salt and pepper. Aren't those just the cutest little things you've ever seen? Cinnamon, cumin, paprika, tanner, garlic, tan bear,
a chicken nugget,
EVOO, and chili garlic sauce. And so what I'm going to do when you guys aren't watching is actually the only part that I'm going to do when you guys aren't watching is you have to actually, I'm going to chop this up and then you have to grate up some of the onion into your lamb. Probably about, I don't know, I use maybe a third of the onion and I grate it up just like you would cheese, adding the juice, letting the juice drip into the lamb there, and then you're going to use the rest of the onion for topping. So that's the part that you're not going to see, is that I'm going to just grate up the onion with the juice on in there, and I'll show you everything else. So see you in a minute. Okay, so I have shredded my onion up in there. It's almost kind of like juice, it's pulp and juice that's in there. And I didn't use as much of the rest of the onion as was left because, you know, there's already so much onion in there that the topping doesn't need to be as much. I also sliced up the tomatoes because we all know how to do that. I didn't feel like you needed to watch me slice tomatoes because. All right, so here's how you make this. These two are not for the actual ingredients. So cinnamon, you're gonna use, I don't know, about half teaspoon, you know, about like that. I don't know if you can see how much is in there. I think Mark will go ahead and shoot down in the bowl after you have all the ingredients in. Cumin, about a tablespoon. Cumin. If you need to measure, no problem. I've just gotten used to making this because we make it, I don't know, once every 4 to 6 months or something.
Yeah.
So I've gotten used to it. You can use a tablespoon of your paprika. So you just eyeball it, or you use your measuring spoon, that's fine. Salt and pepper are to taste. My little dude here for the pepper, my little cute mouse, the pepper doesn't like to come out, so it looks like I'm adding a gob of pepper. I'm really not. It's just, I need to go and buy like the fine pepper for this little guy, and I've got the regular pepper. Salt, those are just to taste, you know, and obviously you're not going to know what it tastes like until you've made this a couple times. I just, you know, put a decent amount, probably not even, I don't know, maybe a quarter teaspoon or something, and you're supposed to use a tablespoon of chopped or minced garlic. So I just kind of, I don't know if you like garlic, so I just put about that much in there. I use gloves just because I'm weird about touching raw meat. I'm just really weird about it. I have a really hard time. Oh, Tanner wants you to see what our salt and pepper shakers can do. So they're little mice, and they're magnets, so they kiss. Aww. Uncle Matthew got us those. So that's that part. Now all I'm going to do is obviously just mix it up really, really well. Mark had to fix my wardrobe. I had a wardrobe malfunction that Mark fixed. So you just mix it up really, really well. And to save a little time, I'm going to continue to mix this a little bit, but I'm going to show you how much you're going to use, because these are actually like sliders. They're not like burgers. So you're just going to get a small, you know, little meatball sized, sorry, the onion is getting to me. Little thing, you're going to pat that down into a little patty, and you're going to end up putting it in your pan, which I'm going to show you again in a little bit after I continue to mix this, because if you look right now, you can see that it's not mixed. You've got meat that has nothing, you've got meat that has like all garlic. You really need to mix this really, really, really well with all of the powdered ingredients that we put in here. So I'm going to do this for a couple minutes, and I'm going to make the patties, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what comes next. Okay, so I got them all mixed up, and I got the little patties made, and so now they're in our pan, and this is where the extra virgin olive oil comes in. You actually drizzle some of the extra virgin olive oil into your pan, and then I put this on medium-high heat, and what I'm going to do is actually kind of, in the house, grill the burgers. But if you were to grill these on the grill, I think you would lose a lot of the moisture and a lot of the flavor out of them. So it's really better to do it in a pan And I have a kind of a really big pan here, so I don't have a lid that fits it. But you're gonna want a lid, trust me, because you've got the lamb popping, which is a very that's a fatty meat, so it's got a lot of grease to it. And then you've got your EDO in there, so you're gonna want to cover it up. So I'm gonna let these bad boys cook. They're not sizzling yet, but trust me, they will be in a minute. And you know, you flip them a couple times. You don't let one side charcoal and then do the other side like you do a burger on the grill. You kind of flip them every, couple minutes to make sure that it's evenly cooked and that they don't get burnt, because they don't taste good when they get burnt. So we're gonna cover them up, let them cook. And really quick, what I wanted to show you was how I do the bread. These work best with ciabatta bread. Some places are lucky enough that you can actually find cute little ciabatta rolls. I've never found them here. So I just get these square little ciabatta breads, and I cut them to the size of a slider. So that's how that works. We always have some left over that we end up using, like with a dipping sauce or something in a different meal. But that's how I do that. So I will show you the end result after they are done cooking. Tanner sent me tan there. So I'll show you the end result when they're done, and you guys can see the end product of the lamb burgers that Marky likes so much.
Maybe even show halfway through when you're turning them. So
I might show halfway through, yes. Mark thinks I should show halfway through, so we will do that. So, be back in a bit. Here we are, kind of one of the first turnings. You can see it pops a lot. I don't know if you can see that pops a lot. It sure pops a lot though. So
yeah,
I'm keeping it away from the back of my oven and my teapot and stuff, so there's less cleanup. I'm trying to stand as back as far as I can. So I smush them out a little bit, because I don't want my burgers to be completely raw in the middle, because I'm not only worried about touching raw meat, but I can't eat it if there's any pink in there. So I push them out a little bit, nice and flat. We're gonna go ahead and keep cooking them. So basically that's the middle that Mark wanted y'all to see. And we're gonna keep going with the, you can see how much stuff ends up in there though. So on top of this, yes, I am gonna show you the finished product, but I'll show you that we do drain this on paper towels before we eat it too, because very, very fatty meat, lamb is. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so we're at the part you can see where the burgers are actually made. I saved one to garnish so you guys can see what I do. I use the chili garlic sauce. I'm gonna let Mark, this is just the one that I prefer.
I don't know if I can get
don't know if he can actually get it, but it's just chili garlic sauce, same kind that you get the sriracha or however you say that, same brand, but this one is chili garlic sauce. But if you can find another one that you like, that probably works just fine too.
I think it's sriracha?
Sriracha, I don't know how it's said. So you're gonna throw your tomato. Oh, one thing I failed to mention in the ingredients before was extra sharp cheddar cheese. It kind of sets off the sweet in the meat, because we put a lot of sweet things into the meat. So put your tomato on there, put your chili sauce on there, cover it with a couple of onions. If you like any greens, one thing that is supposed to be good with it is cilantro, but I personally don't. I'm not a big fan of cilantro, so I don't put it on here. And that's your burger. And poor Mark has ended up upside down. And then another thing that I forgot to tell you guys was every time I do this, I remember halfway through that I actually do drain off some of the fat that gets into the pan. Don't put it down my garbage disposal, because that's not good. So I just take the foil that's on there, put a couple napkins on it, pour it into that, throw it away, get a new piece of foil, everything's good. And tonight's dinner is going to be accompanied by some yummy roasted vegetables that my little brother started for us. So we're having roasted potatoes and carrots with our dinner tonight. And that's it. And in case you're wondering, all that is potatoes, carrots, and coarse black pepper ground. So that's tonight's dinner. Hope y'all enjoyed watching the video.
The only other thing is, once we get everything set up, I'm gonna put it on per Lynn's
wanted a taste.
recommendation.
She wanted a taste.
We're going to actually give a film of us tasting it.
Tasting it.
And I can tell you from experience that it's going to be good. So it's just going to be a lot of me going, But
Mark loves this meal, I only make it, like I said, every like 4 to 6 months because it does take time. Only because the burgers take time to actually make. Not the preparation or anything, but just the time that it takes to actually make the burgers without them burning to a crisp and cooking all the way through. Like I like them, it takes a little while.
So actually, you know what? We're just gonna do it this way. Kick here.
Here,
Yeah,
I'll just.
hold
Here, Mark's just gonna go ahead and
All right.
he's gonna do a taste.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know
go-
if I might have just messed up the video by turning the camera, but that's
Let me see.
okay. No, it's back to where it should be. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I'm just gonna take this one. I'm not gonna take the upside down one yet. I'm gonna take this one right here. I love the way they smell. My taste buds are already salivating. These are some really good burgers. I love these lamb burgers when she makes them. And the onions and the tomato, they have the crispness to them when you bite down. And just the juiciness of the burger. And the spice of the garlic sauce. Such a good burger. You guys definitely need to give these a try. We can go ahead and see about leaving the recipe down below, but Carrie kind of put it all out there for you. And she even told you how much to do of each one, so I'm not sure if I can get it all typed into the description or not. But
By the way, speaking of the smells, you might want to light a candle after you make these burgers so that your entire house does not smell like lamb for a week. Because it does, it gets very smelly like lamb up in here.
So I'm going to let you guys go. I can get these burgers in my belly. Have a great night, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another installment of Cooking with the Smiths. Bye-bye.